That is a bad dude, you hear me? I know he way over there in Japan or whatever he is, but that is a bad dude.
Left, retreats to the ropes immediately. Inoue looking to tee off with that right hand, left hand, and McDonald sags into the ropes again. And Luis Pabon.
Naoya Inoue's success has been incredible for Japan. Right now, Japanese has double-digit champions. And at some point, you just have to see someone who looks like you out there doing it to be inspired. And Japan has always had excellent fighters. Fighters with a lot of heart, fighters who come and give you everything in that ring. But all of a sudden, they're like, hey, we can be pound for pound.
Naoya Inoue is a true monster, a name that's earned global respect for a reason.
He's the most efficient hunting machine in all of boxing.
In the ring, he does what monsters do. Wreak physical havoc on someone else.
You know, it's cruel and inhuman punishment to ask anybody to fight Inoue.
The undefeated Japanese Phenom brings insane skill and superhuman power into every fight he enters.
Every fighter needs that courage and his nickname as well, like that monster, to come out of him and show everybody, like, don't even play with me like that no more, type of attitude. So he showed that.
Not long ago, Inoue shut down all doubt and silenced the critics who dared to question him.
まあ今でも実質5階級上げてきて、まあそれでもこう今は試合的には順々にこなしてますけど。
I think that dude really is pound for pound number one. He just don't have a competition at that weight class to have that big fight to get it right now. And the United States don't know him because we don't have big fighters in his weight class over here that we know that good.
After one particular performance, the entire world finally gave him the recognition he deserved. So sit back, because we're about to take you through the fight that made the monster a global legend.
Paul Butler's been there, done it, he's been world champion, but I think he's a monster, that Inoue, isn't he? He is a monster. And
the man that a lot of people will have in their top three at least on the pound for pound list, Naoya Inoue. You were very vocal straight from the start. I want to be fighting for the undisputed championship. I've got the other belt. If he wants to dance, let's do it.
Over the years, Naoya Inoue has become one of the best boxers on the planet. A regular name in the top 10 pound for pound rankings, he's been dominating one division after another. His opponents can't escape the same fate, getting knocked out, while fans are left stunned by his technical brilliance and brutal finishes. Inoue is a world champion in 3 different weight classes.
I don't think anybody beats him unless, you know, obviously a lucky punch, something could happen. Maybe he goes in sick, maybe he goes into a fight injured, maybe he breaks a hand. You know, in boxing anything could happen. So that's the only chance I'd say anybody at 122 has to beating him.
After a dominant win over Paul Butler, Inoue unified all 4 major belts in the bantamweight division. As the undisputed champion, he set his sights on a new challenge, moving up in weight. And because of his status, Inoue was given the chance to immediately fight for the WBC and WBO belts in his new division. Standing in his way was Stephen Fulton, an undefeated American with a 21-0 record, who had been calling out Inoue for quite some time. Finally, all the stars aligned and the fight was made.
You know, for while it lasts, it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. You know, he comes at you. He's fiery. He goes to the body. He throws punches and bunches. He's very aggressive. Look, that might not bode well. That style, that temperament might not bode well against a guy like Inoue, who can take advantage of that attitude, of that style.
Even though Fulton had taken most of his recent fights to decision, his style was expected to give Inoue serious problems. Fulton isn't flashy, but he's ridiculously effective. Fans were curious to see how Inoue would deal with a guy who focuses on defense, avoids unnecessary risks, and has the technical ability to match him.
All credit to Stephen Fulton, because he told Al Heyman, I want this fight. Go make this fight. Boxing needs more of this.
Once we heard Inoue was moving up, I said, let's reach out to them, see if we can make this fight. And we made it happen, just like this. And I feel like that's a part of 2023 being a big year for sport of boxing.
Yes, I think so. There, you know, 10 champions is a lot of champions.
Right.
And I think the level in Japanese boxing is going up.
Yep.
And I think we are getting the respect that we deserve.
Stephen Fulton was seen as championship material. He didn't have the flashiest resume, but his dominant wins over top contenders in the super bantamweight division had earned him real respect.
In 3 weight classes that no matter what you do, no matter what you bring, Naoya Inoue has an answer. But he's never faced a fighter like Stephen Fulton, the man who has different tools that he hasn't been in the ring against.
On paper, Fulton posed a real threat. It was the perfect clash. 2 undefeated fighters with unique styles, both determined to prove something big. The American was hyped up to be the one who could finally expose Inoue and end his reign of destruction. Analysts and critics genuinely believed this was the fight where the Japanese monster would get humbled. But Inoue's real fans knew there's something special about him, something no opponent has been able to handle.
Power is a gift. It's a gift from God. And I'm not even a religious man, but that power comes someplace from deep inside. Either you have it or you don't. You can teach boxing, you can teach how to throw a jab, but you can't teach power.
I've seen the biggest, most muscular guys that do all type of strength and conditioning workouts that can't put people down like that.
Fulton only looked competitive in the first round. Both fighters were cautious, feeling each other out and exchanging only a few shots. That kind of slow, tactical start favored Fulton more than Inoue. But the Japanese monster wasn't interested in playing it safe. He started mixing in heavy shots with fast combos, constantly pressuring his opponent. Fulton tried to use clinches to slow down Inoue's momentum, and while that helped a bit, the difference in effective punches was clear. In the second round, Inoue turned up the pressure. He began throwing from all angles, showing more aggression and creativity. Fulton kept trying to land sharp, clean punches in response, but most of them were either blocked or missed entirely. Inoue then broke Fulton's nose, and that moment changed everything. After that, Fulton wasn't the same. The American suddenly abandoned his usual slick style and began retreating, trying to stay at range. He looked for openings but couldn't do anything against Inoue's ridiculous speed. Every time Fulton landed something decent, Inoue would return fire with something faster and harder. Fulton slowly began to fall apart. His confidence faded. His game plan was in pieces. Meanwhile, Inoue just kept building momentum and increasing the pace.
And obviously he dominated Fulton, or at least put it this way, he established control right from the start. He made Fulton's a defensive fighter, a good counterpuncher. He made him concentrate more on defense and surviving than Fulton really wanted to early.
And then came the 8th round. Fulton hit the canvas for the first and last time in the fight. He got back up quickly, but Inoue had already smelled blood. The monster pounced. Fulton was trapped against the ropes, and Inoue unloaded with a violent flurry. The referee couldn't let it go on any longer. The American was taking serious damage and the ref had to save him. The fight stopped, and just like that, Naoya Inoue became a 4-division world champion. He didn't just win a title, he sent a message to the entire boxing world.
You know, you have a lot of fast cars, you have Ferraris and all that stuff, so you would understand this. It's almost like putting somebody into a speeding car that's making turns at 120 miles per hour, and it's kind of hard to get comfortable behind the wheel when you're being tossed into the passenger seat. That's what it looked like to me.
And with that one knockout, the monster silenced all of America.